Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. We have a Miami Dolphins game week ahead, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mike McDaniel meeting with the media for the first time since signing his extension and revealed some of the deets behind what went down, how he found out that he was going to get extended, and apparently there was some hobnobbing, a dinner at Stephen Ross's place. This was Mike McDaniel meeting the media earlier.
Thank you. I see the congratulations goes to the organization. I think there's a lot of people that lift you up to give you the opportunity to become a head coach. But once you become a head coach for that program to sustain, that takes each and every person involved in it. So I see that's an accomplishment for the organization. And there was a neat moment, as you'd phrase it. It was I had dinner over at Mr. Ross's house a couple weeks ago. So it was a great dinner. I ate all of my steak.
Did you eat your vegetables?
I did. They gave me minimal. So they anticipated that. So
wow. See, like, this is the thing. When you're talking about dinner with the rich, right? And especially the rich who want to make a deal. Like, you got to feel like, oh, it's I don't know. Like, I picture a billionaire's dinner. Like, I'm picturing really long table. I don't know why I picture Stephen Ross having like a medieval like length of the dining hall room as if he is like some kind of Viking king. But I picture this just giant ass mahogany table, and then like, you know, inordinately needed, you know, they could probably have it on a little bistro table, like on, you know, overlooking the water wherever Stephen Ross is living these days. I'm not really sure, but I do picture it being palatial. I picture it being one of these places where he is trying to be, you know, very fancy, and, you know, he has Mike McDaniel there, and I picture like Mike McDaniel's like, oh, well, what's your favorite thing? We'll have whatever you want, Mike. And I picture Mike McDaniel being like a steak and French fries type of guy with like a little bit of broccoli just to impress. But like, it's in the of course the silver dome thing covering the meal, and there's definitely a butler. There's a butler. He's wine and dine, has white gloves. He lifts it up to show Mike McDaniel, and then, you know, he just brings up the contract and is talking about, you know, what are we going to do this year, Mike? And, you know, he's like, yeah, I heard that. And Mike McDaniel's like, so Super Bowl contenders, huh? And he goes, what do you think about that? He goes, I love it, Mr. Ross. I love it. He goes, I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that, Mike, because here's the thought. We're going to extend you till for a few years. We're gonna lock you up a few more years. And then Mike McDaniel is just beside himself. But it was apparently, he said he wasn't sure what the dinner was about initially with Stephen Ross. Here's a little bit more of Mike McDaniel meeting with the media on Monday.
you know, you don't. I knew he wanted to have dinner, and I knew I was going to be a good dinner date, I guess you'd say. Outside of that, you don't really forecast too much. It was an opportunity to hang out with Mr. Ross, and so I jumped on that, and yeah, that's what employed.
Always a nerve-wracking thing when your boss tells you that they want to meet. Like my boss at the radio station will do this all the time, where he has mystery conversations that he wants to have with me, but he always he does give me the caveat, nothing bad, but like I don't know what that. All right, so like what is bad to you? Like, what does that mean? Nothing bad in regards to my job status, nothing bad as far as the show is good. What does that mean, nothing bad? Like, I don't know really where to navigate that sometimes. So when your boss, who's a bazillionaire, is bringing you into the vault, he goes, hey, Mike, what do you say you come to the old palatial estate, and we got to meet about something. You're thinking to yourself, oh boy, like, is he going to give me the Super Bowl? Like, because if you don't really know, if you think it's good, you know, like, I'm sure you like reach out to, hey, are good things. But if you don't know, that's nerve-wracking, because you're in one of these spots where, like, all of a sudden, oh, I have to go and I have to prove something, or I gotta sell a vision here, or do you walk in there overly confident? I feel like Mike McDaniel is one of these guys where he's gonna break the ice immediately. You know, like, he's gonna go there. Maybe he has like the Little Lobsters talk or something just to get just to get the tone a little bit relaxed for Stephen Ross and all those stuff. But look, as I said in the video when this all came out, very, very exciting. I just would be very nervous in a case like that. I don't really remember a lot of the I've been around like the real fancy, not too often. And I remember one time went to an organization, like they wined and dined us like as a radio show and kind of took us into the fancy parts of eating in the arena. And I was like, oh, so this is how the upper class does it. That was pretty fancy. No white gloves though on the butlers. And I do remember one time when I was producing on the morning show, we got like a fancy backstage tour from Garfinkel, who's a cool guy. I mean, Garfinkel's a cool mother bleeper. And so like I feel like he can hobnob with the best of them, but also very well off man. So but I don't know if the game is leveled up because Mike McDaniel, look, all right, now he's got a little scratch. He's been a head coach. He wears fancy watches, fancy ass shoes. So he has to feel a better level of comfort than he ever has before. But that being said, it's still your boss, and he's still a billionaire. So what then goes into it? And then what does Stephen Ross go with? Like, does Stephen Ross, like, do they eat as much? Is he eating, like, is his steak already cut up? Is he still, going at it like he used to? Is he going, like, some kind of fancy dish that you've never heard of, and then you feel like an idiot because you just got steak and French fries? How does that all go? How do they try and corral that when it comes to this? These are all the things that I think are going through Mike McDaniel's head because he's a man of many words. Although when it comes to his munion, apparently he can be much more concise than he usually is. That being said, it's I think a great decision for the organization. He says it's not like some sense of relief. He's still going to go at this, and he's going to attack every day like it's the most important day, which is what he's been doing. And yeah, the Dolphins have to do that because the Dolphins they got some good challenges here to start their season. They got, a very weird first month. Like their first month is going 2 games in 4 days, 10 days off, road game, farthest trip of the country to Seattle, and then finish this month off by you have to go take on the haunted memory of that Monday night meltdown. So a primetime game against the Tennessee Titans. All here to start off your September. Not a month that's undoable and not a month that's daunting, but just strange. It's a strange schedule. You're not getting into this routine of, 1 o'clock game, 1 o'clock game, 1. Because I'm sitting here and I'm trying to put together my pregame schedule and what I got going on and how we're gonna go and we're gonna attack this month. And I'm like, this is a very weird first month. Like, what is this? I'm doing the normal game this week, but this is the only normal game. Then we got a primetime game, a 4 o'clock game on the West Coast, and then end it with a primetime game on a Monday. Kind of makes me want to have some fancy ass steak with a billionaire to get your mind right for a big time season.